Welcome to the One Star Weak Foot Show, FIFA 21 edition, starring your host, One Star Weak Foot, and our review specialist, One Star Weak Foot. Bow! Good evening, wonderful people of YouTube, and welcome to the One Star Weak Foot Show, your one-stop shop for player reviews. I'm going to be your host today, One Star Weak Foot, and it makes me feel great to see you back on the channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. So, as you guys know, we are in the midst of Future Stars, the Future Stars promo. And there are a lot of interesting cards that have dropped in the last few days. First off, let me ask you guys, what do you guys think about the Future Stars promo so far? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm actually looking forward to the upgradable SBCs that they will be dropping sometime this week. I mean, I remember the Odegaard card from last year was really fun. Let me know in the comment section down below, who do you think they're going to drop as an upgradable SBC? But I'm going to stop talking about the Future Stars promo because we have our eyes set. We have our radars locked in on two specific players on this promo. They both play in the Premier League. It's going to be none other than Bergwijn and Harvey Barnes. So guys, let's take a look at these cards. The first one we're going to talk about here is Harvey Barnes, and he's having a bit of a breakout year. He's always been a young player with a lot of potential for Leicester, but this year he seems to be turning it on, and he's gotten a well-deserved Future Stars card. He's 5'11". He has high medium work rates. He's right-footed with a 3-star skills and a 4-star weak foot. As you guys see here, I have played 6 games with him, and the interesting thing here is I've tried a few games in co-op, division rivals, as well as a few games in rivals by myself, and he has gotten 4 goals and 4 assists. Before we go any further, if you're enjoying the content, if you want more content like this, do me a big solid and hit the like button down below. And if you're new to the channel, as always, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all you guys, as always, for watching this video. So when you look at Harvey Barnes, I mean, the upgrade he has gotten has made him a very interesting player for a lot of positions, for a lot of players on this game. He has the pace now at 91 to pose a threat going in behind. Shooting and passing wise, he has a lot of end product here. So you might be wondering, is he a cam? Is he a striker? Where's his best position? We're going to talk about that. His dribbling stats really look nice now. Of course, there's the lack of skill moves, but the actual dribbling stats here look very nice. And physically, he looks very solid as well. He does have the outside the foot shot trait, but he does lack the finesse shot trait. The other card we're going to talk about here is Bergwijn, and the big thing to talk about with him is the weak foot upgrade. He has gone from 2-star to 4-star, which is absolutely massive. He's 5'10". He has high medium work rates. He's right-footed, and like I said, he has the 4-star combination. As you guys see here, we have played 6 games with him in rivals in a combination of co-op and regular modes, and he has 8 goals and 1 assist. And when you look at him, I mean, he looks a lot like the Premier League Mbappe with a lot of strength added on. He has the pace of 94 to get in behind. His shooting stats have gotten a massive upgrade, especially with the weak foot boost. Passing wise, he looks like another player that maybe could play a little cam. Once again, we will talk about it. His dribbling stats have gotten a massive upgrade. But the question here is he actually going to feel 92 dribbling? Because as you guys know, if you've ever used Bergwijn in game, he has a very stocky body type. Physically is where he's really going to shine. 94 strength and 94 pace is very R9 Ronaldo-esque. So without further ado, we're going to jump into the gameplay. I'm going to take you over to our review specialist in the studios, One Star Weak Foot. Take it away. Thanks, One Star. Again, we have a double review for you guys. And again, they're both Prem players. The first player we're going to be talking about is going to be Harvey Barnes, the Leicester Future Star. He is selling for about 400k on the PS4 market. Is he worth it? I would have to say he's not the best value, but at the same time, he's not the worst. He's about a 5 or 6 out of 10 in terms of the value rating scale. We're going to break it down, starting with his pace. He has 91 pace, and you might be wondering, does he feel very quick in game? And I'm going to say yes, he does feel very quick, but for some strange reason, with his 93 acceleration, he doesn't really feel like the most explosive player. That being said, he does get in behind very well, and he's not very sluggish either, if that makes any sense. Overall, this guy's pace is an 8.5 out of 10. Next, we'll talk about his shooting, and he has some really brilliant stats here. He has 97 attack positioning, 90 finishing, and you really notice both of those things in game. And that really leads me to believe his best position has to be striker. I really enjoyed him at the striker position a lot better than I enjoyed him at the cam position. And a lot of it really comes down to making use of his best stats. His finishing, once you get him in the box, is very reliable, and his attack positioning is some of the best I have noticed on this game. Overall, this guy's shooting is a 9.5 out of 10. Next, we'll talk about his passing, and don't get it twisted. I mean, if you do want to use him at the cam position, his passing is class. He has 90 vision, 90 short passing, 81 curve. And if you need somebody who's going to break a bus, somebody who could get that defensive splitting through ball, he's actually very good at doing that. His long passing is 75, but once again, I don't really notice the long passing on this game really being that important unless you're making a lot of lob passes. And even then, this Barnes card was able to do that at a high level. Overall, this guy's passing is an 8.5 out of 10. Next, we'll talk about his dribbling, and he has 88 dribbling. He's 5'11", and unfortunately, he doesn't feel that smooth on the ball. Not to say he's clunky, but he just doesn't feel that smooth. He doesn't feel 88 dribbling. He feels more like he has 84 or 85 dribbling, and that's really the downfall of the card to me. Don't get it twisted. His dribbling, his close control, his L1 and R1 dribbling is very tidy. He keeps the ball very close to his body. But what's really lacking from this card is some sort of dynamic dynamism, if that's a word. He doesn't really have the responsiveness I expect out of 88 dribbling when it comes to turning, especially in delayed gameplay. And once again, for whatever reason, he doesn't really explode out of the skill moves either. So he's somebody that really you shouldn't be using to beat defenders, and that limits, in my opinion, his effectiveness at the cam position. At striker though, if he's surrounded with playmakers that could just pass it to him and he could shoot, he's gonna do very well. Overall, this guy's dribbling is a 7.5 out of 10. Finally, we'll be talking about his physical, and honestly, it was pretty good. He has 90 stamina, he lasts all game, and his 75 strength gives him some ability when it comes to shielding the ball. Overall, I gotta give this guy's physical a 7 out of 10. Alright guys, so what's the final verdict on this Barnes card? I think if he was cheaper, maybe around 200k, 250k, I think he'd be a great value. At 400k, his dribbling just doesn't do enough for me. He doesn't have enough dynamic ability to really change the game, to really justify 400k when you could just save another 200k and get Neymar or something like that. That being said, as a striker, he does offer a lot of interesting things. His pace to get in behind is very good, and his finishing and attack positioning is brilliant. And overall, I gotta give this card an 8 out of 10. He's a very good card. I'm just not sure about the value here. Speaking of value, we got Bergwijn, and he is selling for 1 million coins. Is he worth it? I would have to say, unlike Barnes, he definitely is. We're going to break down the stats. Starting with the pace, he has 94 pace, and unlike Barnes, he feels extremely explosive coming out of the skill moves. He feels uncatchable once he gets it behind, and best believe he gets him behind every single time. Overall, this guy's pace is a 9.75 out of 10. Very Mbappe-esque. Next, we'll talk about shooting, and he really surprised me here because when you look at the stats in comparison with Barnes, you would think Barnes is the more clinical player. But this Bergwijn card scored a lot of goals. He has the attack position at 89, which is very good. His finishing is 88. What I really noticed with his finishing is that his shot power at 93 really helps him. So all you gotta do is hit it on target, and he's gonna hit a bullet past the keeper. His long shots are also very good if he can actually get one off in this meta. And overall, I have to give this guy's shooting an 8.75 out of 10. He's a very, very good shooter of the ball. He's very reliable. I wouldn't say he's the most clinical player I have used, but he's still very clinical in his own regard. Next, we'll talk about his passing game. Might be wondering, yo, 1-star, is he good enough to play cam? I would say yes. Is he ideal at the cam position? I would say no. His best position definitely has to be striker. But let's talk about his passing. He has 86 vision, 90 short passing, 84 curve. Very similar stats to Barnes, and he performed just as well as Barnes when it comes to playmaking, making those little dinks above the defense, making those passes in crowded areas. He was able to do that at a very high level. Like Barnes, he has mediocre long passing at 74, but once again, I don't notice it being an issue. Overall, this guy's passing is an 8.5 out of 10. Very similar in quality to Barnes as far as his passing goes. Next, we'll talk about his dribbling, and this was the big question mark of the episode. I mean, he has a stocky body type. He's 5'10". He's not supposed to feel smooth on the ball no matter how high his dribbling stats go. But for whatever reason, he does feel very good on the ball. He has that dynamic ability that Barnes lacks, and that's what justifies his price in my opinion. He explodes out of the skill moves, very similar to players like Mbappe. And he feels very responsive when it comes to turning, despite his stocky body type. I was able to L1, R1 dribble around defenses with ease. His close control is very, very nice. And once again, he explodes out of the skill moves just like a goddamn rocket. Overall, this guy's dribbling is a 9 out of 10. Finally, we'll be talking about his physical, and you'll be surprised how strong this Bergwijn card is, because his 55 aggression doesn't inspire much confidence, but with his 94 strength, this guy is impossible to get off the ball. I mean, his dribbling alone is good enough to keep possession most times, and then when you add in the fact he has 94 strength, he's stocky, he can shield with the best of them. I mean, that makes him a very versatile card. He could be a target man, he could be somebody that could bruise opposing defenses very well, and he's somebody who can also dribble past you. And what I've noticed with a card like this is that certain skill moves become impossible to defend. Try doing the L1 fake shot with this guy. Literally, that's all you got to do to get past the defender, and because of his strength, because of his dribbling ability, the defender kind of glitches out. They can't get the ball off him, and he scored so many goals just using that skill move and then shooting. His stamina at 87 means he lasts all game, and his jumping and heading accuracy surprised me despite the stats not looking that great. Overall, this guy's physical is a 9 out of 10. Alright guys, so what's the final verdict on Bergwijn? Honestly, I think he's one of the best attackers in the Prem right now. He feels like Mbappe with more strength and slightly less dribbling, also with more passing ability. This guy's just pretty much a total attacker. His pace and physical is enough to cause defenses issues, and he has the finishing, the clinical ability, the passing, the dribbling to really add some finesse into his game. And overall, I gotta give him a 9.5 out of 10. I highly recommend him, and if you need the best striker in the Prem, I think this guy's in with a shout. Alright guys, so that's going to be my double future stars review for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next episode, but until then,